Kazakhstan, a name that echoes across the heart of Central Asia, conjuring images of endless horizons and untold stories. The name itself sounds like a whisper from a distant time, a place shrouded in mystery and legend. It's a land where the past lingers in the air, woven into every breeze that sweeps across the steppe. For many, it's just a vast space on the map, rarely featured in travel magazines or postcards. It's a country that often slips beneath the radar, overshadowed by its more famous neighbors. But that's exactly what makes it so captivating. The unknown calls to the curious, promising adventure and discovery for those willing to look beyond the obvious. Kazakhstan reveals its beauty slowly, like a secret between friends. Its wonders aren't shouted from rooftops, they're shared in quiet moments, in the hush of dawn, or the warmth of a shared meal. Here, ancient traditions meet modern aspirations, and the silence of the steppe rivals the energy of its cities. The rhythm of hooves on grass blends with the hum of city lights, creating a harmony unique to this land. I was drawn by curiosity, eager to see beyond the history books and Silk Road legends. I wanted to trace the footsteps of traders and nomads, to understand the stories that shaped this place. I wanted to meet the people, feel the sun on the steppe, and hear their stories. To sit in a yurt and share tea, to listen as elders recounted tales of courage, migration, and hope. I longed to witness daily life, children playing by rivers, artisans weaving ancient patterns, shepherds guiding their flocks as the sun dipped below the horizon. These are the moments that reveal the soul of Kazakhstan. This wasn't just another trip, it was a quest to discover a world wonderfully unknown. Every journey across the steppe, every train ride through the wild, felt like turning the page of a living storybook. With hope and a suitcase full of sensible shoes, I set out to explore Kazakhstan's hidden treasures, ready to be surprised, to be humbled, and to let this land of whispers and wonder change me forever. Why Kazakhstan? Friends and family ask me this often. The greatest adventures, I believe, are found off the beaten path. My fascination with the Silk Road drew me here, a crossroads of civilizations for centuries. I wanted to see how history shapes modern Kazakhstan, and how its people carry their heritage forward. My goal, to find adventure in everyday moments, to connect, to understand. I packed not as a tourist, but as a traveler, ready to listen and learn. I hoped Kazakhstan would reveal its secrets, and I promised to share its story with the world. Arriving in Almaty was a sensory awakening. The air was crisp, scented with distant mountains and blossoming trees. The airport buzzed with Kazakh and Russian, a blend of cultures, old and new. Faces reflected nomadic ancestry and recent history, moving with calm grace. Warm smiles greeted me, and families reunited with joy. Almaty itself is a city of green, tree-lined avenues, parks, and a mix of Soviet-era and modern architecture. But the Tian Shan Mountains stole the show, their snow-capped peaks towering above. That first evening, as city lights twinkled and the air cooled, I felt a deep peace. I was here, in a land of whispers and wonders. The journey had begun, and already, Kazakhstan felt like a place I could call home. Adventure awaited beyond every horizon. One of my most cherished memories began not with a grand plan, but with an unexpected breakdown in the endless Kazakh steppe. We were miles from the nearest town, surrounded by a vast, rolling sea of grass that seemed to stretch on forever, with only the distant mountains to break the horizon. The silence was profound, broken only by the wind and the occasional call of a distant bird. Our car sputtered and coughed before coming to a complete stop, leaving us stranded in the middle of nowhere. The realization set in quickly: no cell signal, no passing cars, and the sun already beginning its slow descent. For a moment we felt completely isolated, tiny figures in a landscape that had seen centuries of travelers before us. As the sky turned golden and shadows grew long, we noticed a thin column of smoke rising on the horizon. It was a small but unmistakable sign of life, a beacon of hope in the vast emptiness. With little choice, we decided to walk toward it, our footsteps crunching softly in the dry grass. After what felt like hours, we finally reached a traditional yurt, its white canvas glowing in the evening light. An elderly Kazakh couple stood outside watching our approach with curiosity and warmth. Despite our exhaustion, their gentle smiles immediately put us at ease. They spoke no English and we spoke no Kazakh, but kindness needed no translation. With gestures and laughter, they welcomed us as if we were long-lost friends, inviting us inside to rest and recover from our ordeal. Inside, the yurt was a world of its own, warm, colorful and alive with the patterns of handmade carpets and woven tapestries. The air was filled with the comforting aroma of simmering broth, and the flicker of a small stove cast dancing shadows on the walls. We were served beshbarmak, Kazakhstan's national dish. The meal was simple, tender meat and noodles, but it was hearty, delicious, and prepared with obvious care. Each bite seemed to warm us from the inside out, a true comfort after our long trek. As we ate, the man picked up a dombra, a traditional stringed instrument, and began to play. His fingers danced across the strings, filling the yurt with music that seemed to echo the spirit of the steppe itself. He sang old songs, stories of nomads, horses, and the endless sky. We didn't understand the words, but the emotion in his voice was unmistakable. The music spoke of longing, joy, and the deep connection between people and this land. It was impossible not to be moved. In that yurt, sharing food and music with strangers who quickly became friends, we experienced the true meaning of Kazakh hospitality. There was laughter, stories told with hands and smiles, and a sense of belonging that transcended language. What began as a misfortune became a magical memory, one that I carry with me to this day. The warmth of that night, the generosity of our hosts, and the beauty of the steppe, all blended into an experience I'll never forget. Sometimes the best adventures are the ones you never planned. When you surrender to the unknown, you open yourself to moments of genuine connection, and wonder that no itinerary could ever promise. That night I learned that the greatest treasure of the steppe isn't its endless landscape but the warmth and generosity of its people, a lesson I'll carry with me wherever I go. Another adventure began with a simple mistake. I wandered off to photograph wildflowers, losing track of time and direction. The steppe, with its endless grass and no landmarks, quickly disoriented me. Realizing I was lost, unease crept in. The vastness was humbling. Just as panic set in, I heard hooves in the distance. A young boy on horseback appeared, confident and smiling. He pointed the way to camp, gesturing for me to follow. We walked together, him chatting in Kazakh as if we were old friends. Soon the tents came into view. I tried to thank him, but he simply smiled and rode off into the steppe. In that moment, I felt the quiet generosity of Kazakhstan. Sometimes help arrives from the most unexpected places. The steppe teaches humility and gratitude. Kazakhstan's natural wonders are as varied as they are breathtaking. This vast country, stretching from the Caspian Sea to the snow-capped peaks of the Tian Shan, is a land of contrasts and surprises. Every corner seems to hold a new secret, waiting to be discovered by those willing to venture off the beaten path. One of the most surreal sights I encountered was the Singing Dune in Altyn Emel National Park. Rising unexpectedly from the steppe, this giant sand dune is famous for the haunting, melodic hum it produces when the wind sweeps across its surface. The sound is almost otherworldly, echoing across the landscape like a distant song, and it's easy to see why local legends surround this place. Climbing the dune was a challenge. The sand shifted beneath every step, making the ascent slow and demanding. But reaching the summit was worth every effort. From the top, I was rewarded with a breathtaking panorama. Golden sands stretching out in every direction, endless plains rolling away to the horizon, and the silhouettes of distant mountains standing guard. The wind carried the dune song, and for a moment, I felt completely connected to the wild heart of Kazakhstan. As I slid my hands through the warm, fine sand, I could feel the earth's deep vibrations resonating through my fingertips. It was a moment of pure wonder, a reminder of how alive and mysterious the natural world can be. The sensation was both grounding and uplifting, as if the dune itself was sharing its ancient secrets with me. My journey then took me to Charan Canyon, often called Kazakhstan's answer to the Grand Canyon. This dramatic landscape, carved over millions of years by the relentless flow of the Charan River, is a testament to the power of nature. The canyon's scale and beauty are truly humbling, and it's easy to lose yourself in its vastness. The red sandstone cliffs, sculpted into fantastical shapes by wind and water, glowed in the sunlight like ancient castles. Their towering walls seemed to tell stories of ages past, and as the sun moved across the sky, the colors shifted from deep crimson to fiery orange and soft gold. It was as if the canyon itself was alive, changing with every passing hour. We hiked through the Valley of Castles, a winding path surrounded by ever-changing colors and dramatic rock formations. Each turn revealed a new perspective, and the silence of the canyon was broken only by the crunch of gravel underfoot and the occasional call of a distant bird. It was a place that invited exploration and reflection. But perhaps my favorite destination was Big Almaty Lake, nestled high in the Tian Shan Mountains. The journey up winding mountain roads was an adventure in itself, with every bend revealing new vistas of rugged peaks and alpine meadows. When the lake finally came into view, its beauty took my breath away. The lake's turquoise waters, perfectly still and ringed by snow-capped peaks, felt like a hidden sanctuary untouched by time. The reflections of the mountains danced on the surface, creating a scene so serene it felt almost unreal. It was a place where the world seemed to pause, inviting you to simply be present and soak in the tranquility. We sat by the shore, breathing in the crisp, cool air, and let the peace of the mountains wash over us. Surrounded by such beauty, it was impossible not to feel a sense of awe and gratitude. The lake, the mountains, and the silence combined to create a moment of perfect harmony. Kazakhstan's landscapes are full of surprises, each one more magical than the last. From singing dunes to dramatic canyons and tranquil mountain lakes, this country is a treasure trove for nature lovers and adventurers alike. Here, nature is both wild and welcoming, offering moments of challenge and serenity in equal measure. Whether you seek adventure or peace, you'll find it in Kazakhstan's great outdoors. Every vista invites you to pause and marvel, to reflect on the beauty and power of the natural world. In Kazakhstan, the landscape doesn't just surround you, it embraces you, leaving you changed long after you've gone. What touched me most in Kazakhstan were the everyday acts of kindness. Hospitality isn't just tradition, it's a way of life. In a market, a young woman helped me buy honey, sharing stories and refusing any thanks. Our driver Murat invited us to his home where his family welcomed us with a feast and laughter. Strangers became friends over shared meals and stories. Again and again I was met with generosity, a shopkeeper's gift, students eager to chat, a bus driver's helpfulness. Each encounter was a thread in a tapestry of warmth. The greatest treasures of travel aren't sights or souvenirs but human connections. In Kazakhstan, kindness is the country's most beautiful landscape. It's these moments that linger long after the journey ends. The heart of Kazakhstan beats in its people. Travel teaches lessons you never expect. Kazakhstan was more than a destination, it was an education for the soul. I learned to let go of expectations and see the country for what it truly is, complex, vibrant, and full of surprises. The vast steppe humbled me, putting my worries in perspective. Nature's scale brought clarity and calm I hadn't felt in years. Life here moves at a gentler pace. People value family, community, and hospitality. Their resilience and optimism inspired me. This journey taught me to slow down, listen, and cherish simple connections. If you seek a place that challenges and inspires, Kazakhstan is waiting. It's a land that opens your heart and changes you. Let its landscapes and people work their quiet magic. My time in Kazakhstan was just the beginning of a much larger story. I've glimpsed breathtaking landscapes and met unforgettable people, but there's so much more to discover. Every mountain, canyon, and smile holds 1,000 untold tales. The spirit of adventure that brought me here now burns brighter than ever. Leaving was hard. It felt like saying goodbye to a new friend. But the memories and lessons will stay with me always. This journey has changed me, and I'm grateful. The road calls again, promising new stories and discoveries. I hope you'll join me for the next chapter. The best is yet to come.